The preparation of the base for most decorative renders is concluded with a primer, which can be applied with a paint roller or masonry brush for greatest quality. Thus, an even absorbent surface is achieved. There is also improved adherence, increased water repellence, it adheres dust particles, and provides a primed base, which is especially important when making a troweled render structure. Information on which primer is most suitable for each type of decorative render and existing surface can be found in the render packaging instructions and on the technical sheets of the products. For most common surfaces, base coats of thermal insulation systems and lime cement renders, as well as paste-like renders, we recommend the use of the universal base coat Unigrund. Otherwise, Ubisol F can also be diluted with water for silicon renders, and Ubosil FX or Ubosil GX for silicate renders. For acrylic decorative renders, we recommend Acrylicolor diluted with water as a primer. The color shade of the primer should be as close to the natural shade of the decorative render as possible. As regards working conditions during installation, the most demanding renders are silicate and mineral decorative renders, especially tinted ones, which are very sensitive to long periods of drying at low temperatures and relatively high air humidity. With silicate renders, it is also especially important to provide a surface which is dry enough to avoid patchiness on the facade surface. If decorative renders are installed on facade surfaces, they should be protected against the sun and wind by a curtain, and installation should be stopped in the case of rain, fog, or strong wind. The video shows the impact of base color on the temperature of the base surface, or whether the surface of the base is directly exposed to the sun, or if it is in the shade or protected by a protective facade curtain during the working stages. Decorative renders are therefore always applied on shaded surfaces, otherwise a protective curtain must be provided. The installation of decorative renders to large, especially high surfaces is a demanding job, which can be made much easier by dividing such surfaces into smaller ones. The division of the facade surface with lines thus enables work on individual parts of the facade independently one from another. Facade surfaces can be divided from one another by grooves, mortar trims, decorative cornices and laths, which helps prevent the often non-aesthetic contact of render coats at the top of each story, and can blur the usually disturbing and overly visible mistakes in unevenness, which cannot be totally avoided on large surfaces, even with above-average work precision. Smooth bands or decorative laths and trims can often help in the treatment of corner and reveal edges, and in the treatment of corners especially where the surfaces are treated with very rough structured renders, where the execution of sharp edges is almost impossible, or if these parts are inaccessible for the tools which are used for the treatment and structuring of the render surface.